good with it, YouTube? Welcome back to part 2 of custom Webpack. Just changing my old code to a more modern development kind of setup over here. So again, from the last episode or the last video, we left off where we just changed our JavaScript to we moved into our source folder, and then we also downloaded Webpack and Babel to help us transpile the code and put our minified code or the code that will be handled by all browsers in the distribution folder over here. So now we're going to focus on our CSS because we're still using Bootstrap through our CDN, and with our current setup right now we can't really do npm install and then get Bootstrap working from the get-go. So there's a few things we need to do. We need to download some, just like we installed Babel loader, we also have to install style loaders. So also another thing, I fixed this issue. It was because, just so everyone knows, I had to declare these arrays over here. What's one thing iffy or weird about actual JavaScript, like I was running this straight in the browser, and JavaScript would assume that this is a declaration, so would just append var behind it. But I guess when you're transpiling it, it doesn't really like it. So I just had to put var at the end, and then this would work. So, okay. So to do that, again, I said we have to install some style loaders. So we're going to do npm install, and all of these are dependencies over here. They don't really go into production. So we need a style loader, and we need a CSS loader over here. So let's install those two over here. And then again, we got to go to our Webpack config, and inside our Webpack config over here, we need to add more rules to handle our new CSS stuff. So again, we'll open another object and we'll say test escape the dot, and then we'll do CSS $/ over here, and we are going to be using an array of loaders over here. So we're going to use style loader, and then we're going to use CSS loader over here. So let's save that, and over here in our source.index source, let's make a new and then we'll say main.css over here, and let's just make this body background color, and over here we'll just say blue. Okay, so this should be our main setup to just get started with CSS and seeing how Webpack handles this kind of stuff. So again, all we're doing, we went to Webpack and we said, hey, wherever you see .css file, handle it using the style loader and the CSS loader over here. So let's do an npm start over here. This will start our Webpack dev server, and this will open up, and let's check our console over here. Let's see why this might not be running. Okay, so there's one thing that I forgot that I looked over very easily. So the same way I'm importing chart.js, I also have to go here and import my main.css file over here. So if we save that, error can't resolve main.css. So let me do a relative over here, so it's saved successfully. And if we go back over here, we see now that our background color is blue. So whatever we're doing over here is now being properly reflected in our dev server over here. So now this changes to green. And if you're curious where that actually is, it's right over here. So it injects a style tag inside of your head element over here. So this is all fine and dandy, and this is going to be useful for getting Bootstrap in as well. So this is just getting us our feet wet with this. So another thing we can do now is, let's actually, since we have all of this ready, like we don't need to do anything more. Let's just go here, just do an npm install Bootstrap over here, and then let's try to just get Bootstrap in and see what happens over here. So in our main.css over here, or our main file over here, I'm going to try to import our stuff. So at import what is Bootstrap /dist / let's see what we need. So if we go into our node modules folder over here, so if we go to Bootstrap, where we go Bootstrap over here, we go into dist CSS, and then let's grab that one over there. So let me go back over here. So dist / oops, where did it go? Go up over here. So dist / CSS / bootstrap.css over here. So now let's try to import that in and see whether it actually likes us. So do npm start. So we get our Bootstrap in, and our Bootstrap is going directly to our website. So over here, we're back to our website, but we can't really tell if it's done the correct job or not. And as you can see, like, we don't see anything over here. A way we can make sure that it isn't, using the, let me just grab the minified version too. So min dot thing, and over here in this, let's actually remove our Bootstrap over here. So we don't need Bootstrap anymore. And let's save this and see, our style should disappear right now. So let's see if we go back, and over here, see, our styles are now gone. So we just deleted it, and now it's injecting our Bootstrap styles right over here. So another thing is that let's remove this, because this is getting a bit too much, the green over here. So let's actually remove this. And if you notice now, we are bringing in our bootstrap.minified, our minified version of Bootstrap that we downloaded, and we are importing it into this main.css file, and inside our entry file over here, we're importing it once more. So what happens is, through our Webpack config, it's saying, hey, go inside. It just by default looks into your source and index and starts building from that entry point. So that's how it knows what to do. Another thing is that I prefer to use Sass. So let's try to get Sass up and running over here. So let's actually make sure we are using the Bootstrap Sass version of Bootstrap over here. So let's actually go to Bootstrap over here. So we go Bootstrap SCSS, and then bootstrap.scss over here. So over here, Bootstrap SCSS, and then bootstrap.scss over here. So this shouldn't compile over here. So it says that there's some compilation error over here, because we didn't tell Webpack how to handle this kind of stuff. So another thing is that we'll change our file over here also to SCSS, and in our index I'll make sure that this also says SCSS over here. So none of this should compile over here, so because we haven't told it to how to handle it properly. So we could just change this to SCSS over here, and let's see what happens. Hopefully it gives us helpful errors. Let's see, it did open this up, but it should fail anyways. So it says that in main CSS module build failed. Yeah, so this is pretty much because we don't have the proper SCSS loaders over here. So let's install them, right? So we go npm install -d, and I believe it's called SCSS loader. So let me just double check over here. Yeah, so it's called Sass loader. And then we also need to get Sass for us. So we need Sass loader and Sass. So let's do that. That gets us Sass and Sass loader in for us. So great, that's good. So now we can go back to our Webpack, and we can use now our Sass and SCSS loader. So I'm going to leave my CSS loader here, just because, like, why not? In case you want to go back to using CSS, you can totally leave that there, it doesn't matter. So we're going to use our Sass loader over here, and that's literally all we should need. So if we do npm start once more, let's see, so it goes and it opens up our website, and there we go. So we have our Bootstrap now. This is a Sass version of Bootstrap over here. So if we go and inspect and go into the head over here, This is our SAS version, or our SCSS version of Bootstrap. So again, another thing, we just changed our SCSS to CSS, and then it's using all our appropriate loaders over here. So this will just properly transpile our SAS, and this will properly transpile our SCSS, and finally it will inject it using the style tag. So this wasn't in order over here, this wouldn't work. So if I put this either in between or at the very end, this will not compile properly. So if I do npm start over here, and then we just, this tab over here, we see there's this Webpack totally fails. It's because the order of this actually does matter. So we just leave our style loader here at the end. If it bothers you as much as it bothers me, I do not like seeing my style injected directly into my website. So I do not like to see it in the head over here. It's just too cluttery and too messy. I want to import it just like my style stuff. So to do that, I need to just install one plugin. So let's install that plugin over here. It's npm install -d, and it's mini CSS extract plugin. Yeah, extract plugin over here. So this is just installing that as a dev dependency over here. And inside our Webpack, I'm going to use it. So I'll just do mini extract CSS. This variable name doesn't matter. Also make sure this says const over here. And I'm going to pull that in. So require mini extract CSS plugin over here. So I got our mini extract CSS plugin, and now I do not want to use the way we've been using before. We've been using style loader to load all our styles using the style tag. So instead I'm going to use the mini extract CSS loader instead. So I'm just going to replace that with loader, and let me do an npm run build over here, and that will let's see what happened over here. So error, cannot find mini extract CSS plugin. Let me see what we named it over here. So mini extract CSS plugin. Maybe I spelled it wrong. That's my honcho. Mini extract CSS plugin. Yep, I did spell it wrong. So let me do that. Do an npm run build once more. This might take a couple seconds. And let's see what we got. Compile. This is likely probably not a problem with npm. It's likely an additional logging up ahead over here. Let's see. So we got our mini loader over here. Mini extract CSS loader. Let me actually change it to the actual name. So mini CSS extract plugin. This naming difference shouldn't really matter over here, but I'm just making sure. So if I save that and do an npm start over here, so this will open it into a new tab over here, but let's take a look at whether this Oh, and one more thing we need to do is we need to register this plugin. So over here, we're going to go into plugins, and we are going to instantiate this. So new mini CSS extract plugin. So this is going to be just a declaration. And over here, let me do an npm start once more. So I did not put a proper trailing comma over there. And now let's do an npm start and see what we get. So something invalid configuration object. Webpack has been initialized using a configuration object that does not match our API schema. So let me see. Plugins. I see. Okay, so that's what it needs to be, plugins instead of plugin. Okay, so that loads up over here. Let's check whether it builds successfully, and it does. It compiled successfully. So now let's go back over here. And our website is gone out of whack, probably because we didn't properly import it. Oh yeah, so another thing is that if we go back over here, let's do a, let me close this up. We do an npm run build over here. So that builds out all our assets into this just folder. So what you should also notice that you get now your main.css file over here. So all you have to do at the top over here, make sure you include it in your head, is link. So over here, we're just going to replace it with our styles over here, which is main.css. So we save that and do an npm start over here. We should get our final project finally up and running. So this is pretty cool. Let's see this. And over here, we got our website exactly the way it was in the very beginning. But the only difference is now we're using Webpack 5, we're using Sass, we have Sass configured, we have style, mini extract CSS plugin working. We also got Babel to help us with the transpiling of our JS code, just so it's in more modern terms so most browsers can run it. And yeah, this is what I want to go through to this video. So you can take this project now and build upon it, so you can do your own from the ground up project over here and start building, start using more newer features of JavaScript, just so it's the newer features are much more intuitive anyways, and it's much more cleaner. So you can start using that without worrying about it working on older browsers, but it should, because that's handled by Babel and Babel presets. But thank you for sticking around for this video. I know it's been a while, and I will try to pump out more videos. I will see everyone in the next video, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, drop a like, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.